I am intentionally choosing to love this woman, and that now he has this safe space where now it's actually affecting his kids. So that the question was, how were your past experiences relating to how you're teaching your boys? But now, since he's in that safe space, he's okay with talking to his wife, and now he's okay with being able to talk to his boys and help them become men and avoid the pitfalls that he hit. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Dads on Purpose, the podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ashford, and as always, got the big homie KB, Mr. Kevin Brigance. How you doing, bro?
What's up, baby? Extra for Tim. Yeah!
I couldn't even get my whole intro in there.
I couldn't even let you get into it, bro.
I didn't even finish. And what's up? Oh my goodness, yo, I know we got company in here, but I got to get this out because Kev don't know. I was browsing on the the comment section of our podcast on some of our reviews, bro, and somebody gave us a 2-star review. And they said, I was excited to listen to the podcast until I push play. All it is a bunch of noise and nonsense. And I low key for 3 seconds. I was I was in my feelings. And then I just laughed and I said, praise God. I said, we ain't for everybody.
We ain't for everybody.
We don't apologize, man. And if you made it this far, you might stick around for the whole show. Yo, we got Tim in here. Tim Nichols, right?
Tim Nicholas.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, there's a
that's what you're gonna say?
in there. I knew it. And I was like, I'm gonna mess this up. I'm gonna mess it up. Tim Nicholas, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, my man? How y'all doing?
Yeah, you don't got to do a Kev intro. I
don't know what is a Kev intro. I'm curious.
you just heard it.
I mean, he yelled and he was doing all of that. I didn't do that.
No. I said you don't got to do one, but I said you can.
He came in with "What's up, fellas? How y'all doing today?"
I mean, that's who I am. I'm just a chill dude. So,
Tim, are you a Kappa?
I'm not.
Okay, I was about to say.
Surprisingly, I didn't pledge. Everyone thinks that I pledged, and then when they think I pledged, and they're like, "Did you pledge Alpha?" I was like, "Nah," but I did think about it. I thought about it for a quick minute, but nah.
Yeah, that's not gonna get you any claps on the.
Really? Why?
That's no. We didn't pledge, but I would say when you say you thought about it, because that's like when people talk to somebody in the military, they'd be like, "Yeah, I thought about joining, but."
Right. That's
I didn't do either one of those, so it is what it is. I mean, whatever. Yo, happy to have you on the show, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
this is I don't know what show this is. It's completely irrelevant. But Tim, introduce yourself, man. Today we're gonna be talking about blended families, man. So go ahead and introduce yourself for us today.
Absolutely. So, once again, my name is Tim Nicholas. I hail from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was raised in Baltimore, Maryland. So shout out to Philly and Baltimore for the man I am today. I hear
it in your voice. I hear the Philly.
Yeah.
I ain't even been to Philly, but I just hear, you know what I'm saying? You see the movies.
You'll see a movie and everything like that. So but I'm an East Coast guy all the way.
Pause. What does that mean?
I love East Coast music.
Okay, so I'm a West Coast dude, and high key.
Oh, here we go.
I grew up no shade, whatever, but I grew up hating the East Coast. I'm gonna get to why.
Oh my gosh.
No. I literally never been to the East Coast. I don't have anything. I don't know anything about nothing about the East Coast, but we grew up in that East Coast, West Coast, death row, era.
That type of beef. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, bro, and I'm all the way LA. Mm-hmm. And so, all I remember is Snoop, hey, East Coast ain't got no love for us. Well, you know what I'm saying? So, my dad is an OG. My dad is a triple OG. My brother is an OG. And so that's all I knew. Right. And so, bro, and still to this day, I still have bias towards it. It's crazy because but I recognize it. But
what's your bias towards the East Coast really? Is it just because of the fact that you grew up in that era? Because I grew up in that same era too. And But at the same time, I always had love for West Coast music. I was listening to Snoop. I was listening to Dre. I was listening to Snoop.
What you doing?
I was listening to
the third coast. So, don't nobody care about Houston.
Oh no, Houston.
H-Town, baby. Come on.
I rock with the Scooter.
Lil Kiki.
Super lame.
Scarface.
I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
You're not even.
But I'm just saying, Tim, it took a long time for me to listen to East Coast rap. I listen to it now. I appreciate it. I'm still a West Coast, like I'm still West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like that's anyways, but that's neither here nor there. We getting way off topic. We didn't even get on topic, but that's fine.
All right. Go ahead and bring it down to that third coast. Go ahead and
who's your favorite third coast rapper?
Lil Kiki.
My favorite third
Lil Kiki. Platinum in the Ghetto.
Third coast rapper.
What?
That's it for you?
Got Lil Kiki. Then I got Screwed Up Click. Then I got,
I thought you was gonna say Lil Flip. I was really gonna talk bad about you.
I honestly thought he was gonna say Lil Flip.
I was gonna talk bad about what you doing. They can't see you on podcast land, Kev.
That's okay.
Yo, we talking.
Y'all could.
We got Tim in here, man, and we talking about blended families, man. And so, for those that don't know, what you say?
Blended families tonight. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. That's what we gonna help somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody.
The Book of Revelation. No, sorry. I was old school Kirk Franklin for y'all don't know. Y'all, I know y'all new saved out here. I know y'all new saved. You know what I'm saying? But
oh, this is hilarious.
But listen, no, man, we're talking blended families for y'all that don't know. Tim, when are you getting married?
2/22/22.
2/22.
Oh, that's
2/22.
When is that?
40
February
46 days from now, I guess.
46 days.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we starting it at. That's where we're going. So you 46 days away. Mm-hmm. How many kids do you have? Like you that you know about?
That I know about. That I know about.
I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble.
I can tell you that I know about 4. I know about the 4. I can tell you that because might have dodged a bullet here and there.
I'm on the beach. Hey, okay, so you have 4 kids.
I have 4 children. Yep.
Your fiance, does she have kids?
She has 3.
So
we are going to be 7 deep. We have what's called the Black Brady Bunch out here in Texas. We ain't playing, man. We love every minute of it too.
Are they all school age?
Well, our youngest are 2, and they range up from 2 to 14.
Okay, yeah. So they all in school.
Mm-hmm.
And do they all live with you guys?
No. So with my fiance and I, who live with us, are her 2 daughters. Okay. I share custody with my kids' mom. So, get my kids, pretty frequently throughout the week, every other weekend. So I see my kids, all the time. And then, there's like days off where, we can just arrange times where I can just pick them up from school. They can stay on off nights. We get holidays and things like that. Very amicable when it comes to like the relationship I have with my ex-wife and things like that. Always have like the most respect for her as a mom and things like that. So, recognizing that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I got because I know Kev wants to get in here, but I got a couple questions. So, does your ex-wife have more kids?
No.
Okay. No. Did she remarry?
Nope.
Okay. Well, because I was about to say, because I was going to throw a whole nother wrench and everything. Like, if she got remarried and oh boy had some kids too,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That would have been crazy.
It would have been a family reunion every other week, probably. It would have been wild, yo. Real talk.
You know, one of my this is gonna be stupid. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing again. But one of my favorite movies is the movie Blended with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I think it's Terry Crews that does it for me. Because I mean, like Adam Sandler, like Drew Barrymore, like it is what it is. But like the Terry Crews part, but that's one of my favorite movies. It's completely random and nobody would ever guess it. But
that is an interesting movie, but it's good. It definitely speaks to to my life. I can tell you
right.
that.
Here's where I want to start this, man, and then we can go wherever we want to go after this. Is like, one, how was it introducing your kids? And then two, like, how did you know when it was okay to introduce your kids? Because I know Kev, and the reason why I asked this is, one, because I want to know about your experience, and then Kev deals a lot with teen fathers, and like, let's just keep it 100. Like, you have a kid in your teens, what's the chances of you guys staying together? Yeah. So like, yo, I want y'all to know about this situation. Like, yo, the more tools you got in your tool belt, the more you are prepared for success. And so that's my reasoning behind it.
Yeah, for sure. I would say when it comes to my fiance and I, we did, take a little bit of time and to really get to know one another. We took that time to get to know one another. We had both come out of failed relationships, prior to that. And
relationships or marriages? I mean, they're
marriages.
Okay.
So we both were married.
Okay.
And so we came out of these failed marriages, and through that, it put us on guard with how we were going to, have our kids be introduced and things like that, and make sure that, we had an understanding before we, even met the kids, like how our parenting styles were, and, just even assuring, my fiance, like, I will always treat your kids like my own. I would, never treat them any differently, because at the end of the day, kids just need love, man. Like, absolutely. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It don't matter how it comes. It's just so why am I gonna shortchange another child some love just because I didn't, I wasn't a part of the birthing process? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's good.
Kev, what was you about to say?
No, man, I really like it. I like the fact that number one, even from the beginning, I have respect for my ex-wife, and I think I would like to explore a little bit, not like what y'all went through, but more so, how did y'all get to a point where it's all about the kids? Because I think oftentimes, I can't speak for women, right? And I can't speak for people who are going through these divorces. Yeah. But sometimes it often makes me feel so upset because, like you said, all kids need us love. But if we go by the court and what the court system sets up for us to raise our kids, they can't properly get the right time, attention from both parents because of a court system set up. But it seems like you guys said, okay, this is what the court system has set up for us, but this is what's best for the benefit of our kids. So beyond what we're going through,
but we can't put that on the court system, bro, because
I get that. I
know,
right.
But I was like, you can't be like, what I'm saying, the court system, because court system wasn't there to make the kid. And I had this conversation with the little homie that I've talked about on previous episodes. He's 22, his baby mama's 20, and they got some things going on. And I told them, I was like, if y'all can't figure it out, it's the same thing with money, bro. Like, if you can't figure out what the best route is, there's a system set up that's going to determine it for you. So if you don't figure out if you don't got your will in place and to where your money's going after you pass, the government's got a plan for you. If you don't have a plan for how you're going to successfully co-parent, the government has a plan for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so that's what I really was going at, because see, I think what happens is, Josh, is that a lot of people go through the system and they're so emotionally tied to what they're going through, where they're like, well, the court said this, instead of saying, I understand what the court said, but in order, and that's what I was getting to with Tim was, what's for the best for our kids. Gotcha. I know what we're going through, but how do we establish this for our kids? So I really want to speak on that real quick. Like, how did y'all get? Because I know anytime you go to the divorce court, and this is another thing, and this is just a nugget for anybody who might be going through a divorce. Your divorce is separate from visitation rights. Visitation rights are coupled with divorce, but it's totally two different.
It's like it's two different processes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's two different processes from that. And I could just say, from my personal experience, when it came to, my divorce, everything was just very amicable. I would consider myself as a man a beautiful mess. I'm gonna just say that. Okay. I call myself a beautiful mess because I always had good intentions on what I wanted to do as a man. So I won't go deviate too far from that. But I will just say that,
bro, you can expound on that. I mean, if you want,
because that's good, beautiful mess. That's
because Kev ain't gonna ask you, but I'm gonna get in your business. I ain't got no problem asking questions. I want to know what happened. I don't want to know. See, what happened was no.
Give me the juice.
You signed the release and I'm on the show. Oh, you signed the release. It don't matter. It's implied.
but that's a good way to put it, because I like the fact that, you know, you're not trying to say I'm trying to be this man that I'm trying to be. It's like, hey, I'm a man. I know I have good intentions, but even with my good intentions, I think there's so many good men who become that bad dude because he has good intentions, but then even though they were good intentions, things just don't work out the way we intended them to.
Well, absolutely. You have that situation. You'll have that person that has a good heart and has good intentions, but is he really he has to look inside himself and measure who he is as a man currently as to the man he wants to be. So you got to measure up to that. If you want to be speaking at Harvard University, but you might just be speaking on the corner right now, how am I going to get to that level to where I'm going to be speaking at Harvard based off of the fact that I'm sitting here on the corner?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to be able to say, look, and in my case, I recognize, you know, going back to the fact that I'm a beautiful mess, it's like, I had those good intentions and I had a good heart about things, but because I had so many traumatic experiences as a child, I brought it into the marriage, and then I started doing things that I wasn't supposed to do, even though I had good intentions on everything. You always, you don't go into a marriage expecting that you're going to get a divorce 9 years later, and that's what happened. But because I wasn't developing my inner man, that's what really shielded me from, or it really broke all the shields from our marriage. You know, I wasn't the husband that I should have been, and I take full responsibility for those things, and you know, and I've started to, you know, grow internally, and you know, that's
if you
how you got to do
go
it.
back and listen to episode 55, I think, with Quest Green, and he this is one of my favorite bars that he in that episode is jam packed with bars. He's a marriage coach. And he said that in order to have a successful marriage, you have to be focused on personal development first. He's like, your marriage is only as strong as the least developed person.
Yeah.
And that's what it sounds like what happened to you is that you weren't. When did you get married? When was your first marriage? Like, how old were you?
I was 20. I got married in 2011. I was 25.
Okay.
I was 25.
I was about the same age.
Yes, sir. and it was, and honestly, you know, just thinking back to that situation, man, you know, I had just come out of a traumatic relationship prior to that. And then
you was just relationship hopping.
No, I wasn't. It took a while to even break that show, but I've had only 3 major prior to this, I've only had 3 major relationships, you know, in my adult life. You know, so other than that, you know, this will be my 4th and final, because when I tell you I'm done after this, I am done.
My man said, I got it right this time. Look,
right?
Yes, I got it right.
I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
It took a lot, and you know, I wouldn't recommend. Hey, this is not for the faint of heart. I wouldn't recommend anybody go the way I went. I take some lessons learned and some things. I think I was gullible in some situations, and I know that I wasn't right for certain situations too.
So recognizing that you were a beautiful mess, that you had some things to work on, getting into the divorce, like, is it like, hey, I know I'm a screw up, I know I messed up, I know what we tried to work out didn't work out. I'm just trying to get to that part to where it was like, but the kids, like, that was
the easiest process, Kev, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Really?
Yes, it was. It was super easy.
Okay.
My ex-wife, now, when I came home from a trip to Washington, D.C., you know, we had talked. She came, you know, she pulled me aside. She was like, yo, you know this is over, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. So we didn't even talk about marriage stuff. We didn't talk about what went wrong, what went right. It didn't matter at that point. All that mattered was our kids. That's all that mattered was our kids. So as soon as we just started talking like, okay, let's draw up a separation agreement. Let's just say you get the kids, 5 days on this week, and then you get them, and then take a break, and then I get them for a week here. So it was like we were very amicable because, as she was very gracious to me. She could have been very scornful, and she wasn't, and could have just said, look, I don't, the lifestyle you live in, I don't want my son around that. I don't want my daughter, I don't want my twin daughters around that, and all those things. So, but they need you and they love you. And so I'm gonna put the hatred I have aside for you right now, and I'm gonna keep our kids at the forefront of it. And that's exactly what she did. And I mean, honestly, we just don't have a lot of squabbles or disagreements or things. We live our own separate lives and have respect for one another. But at the end of the day, when it comes to time towards the kids, we communicate and we communicate effectively.
Yeah, that's good, bro.
That is, bro. Is your ex-wife Black?
Yes, she is.
Okay, and I only ask that because hey, no shade to our ladies out there. I don't want no beef. I don't want no smoke. But that's not typically what happens in our community, wherever they're from, whatever socioeconomic background, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like our queens, you end a relationship with them, it's some heat that come with it. And that's, I don't know. Maybe that's it's probably deserved. Let's just be real.
But I really like I think a lot of it is a maturity too. Like she understood whatever happens at this point affects her kids. And I think oftentimes, because even when I look back when I work with my teen students, especially with teen students who are in estranged relationships, like we have a toxic idea of how to handle it through child support, right? I'm gonna get on child support so they can pay the bills and blah 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 blah. Instead of saying, "Hey, because I think I look at child support like, hey, you have a kid, and I know you can't wrap your mind around it. So until you can catch up, I need you to get your kid every other weekend." That's how I look at the child process.
That would be the best scenario, but that ain't always.
And it's not all, and that's I think that's the thing, is that it's not always there because
Tim got something to say.
But because I'm controversial, so you ain't gonna like my thought on.
No, come on with it, man. That's what we're here for.
Support,
we got time,
because I have thoughts about child support. First of all, I do believe in the system. I think the non-custodial parents should have their responsibility as making sure that there is a percentage of your wages that should be taken away, for the best interest of your child. I believe that. I believe that if someone is going to be more physically responsible for the child, then the other parent should at least have some financial responsibility, and it should be documented to make sure that you're held to that standard. I understand that process. But what about when you have a situation when you aren't having a genuine relationship with that child? But at the same time, you have a parent who is taking from your child, taken from you, and honestly taken away from even the other kids. But you can't have a relationship with them, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the money that I'm giving. What about the other things I'm trying to instill into this child? I'm trying to instill wisdom. I'm trying to instill honesty, transparency, things that she gonna need. And I don't even get that opportunity, but only 35 days a year. But you want to hit me for a lot of money.
Yeah.
Those are situations I don't think are fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I wonder, man, I think about our system, bro, and because I know it's broken, and it's not just the child support system or child protective service, whatever it is. I don't know the name of it, man. Praise God, I ain't never had to deal with it. But whatever that system is, I know our entire governmental system is flawed. And when I think to again, going back to the little homie that you guys go back to a couple episodes, you know what I'm saying? We've worked with him to get him services and things like that. Here's my problem is that, and I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna bring it all around, is that I sit on the board of a very large nonprofit. I sit on the executive board of a very large nonprofit in the area. Mm-hmm. I am very connected. I know the services in the county that are available. I know who to call. And so when I heard about my boy that needed assistance, bro, I'm on the phone. Like within hours, I got checks written. And so even then, we get checks written, but then there's kind of this like, okay, well, now I'm gonna call somebody else. Okay, well, you got to do this and you got to wait. Okay, this, you got to wait. You got to do this. And like the system is like, so somebody that is very connected and knows who to call is still having a problem navigating the system. So imagine somebody that has absolutely no idea. And so now you take that and you bring that into the child protective services or the divorce court or what did we just talk about? The money.
Child support.
Thank you, child support. You bring it into that system. And so I know there are a lot of laws and rights that the non-custodial parent has, but there's probably never mentioned to them. And so if they have someone that can navigate them through that or say the right words, you know what I mean? But I'm sure that there's a lot of bias that goes towards
that's the point. When anytime you hear non-custodial, it always comes out as non-responsible. Someone who's not going to be responsible for what they're supposed to do. So it's a stigma on a non-custodial parent. Absolutely. That we're not going to report where we live. We're not going to report our driver's license. We're not going to show up in court. We're going to do those things. But yes, we're afforded the same rights as a custodial parent. But just because they have responsibility of the child, they're gonna have that attention to them.
Absolutely. And then one of the things, Josh, that happens is when we have those services. So a lot of those state services, if say, for instance, I got her pregnant, we're not together, I'm doing my part to help out and to support, and she's enjoying it, but she needs Medicare, Medicaid. Guess what? She can't get Medicare, Medicaid until I get on child support. So regardless of what we've decided to do, I still have to be on child support in order for my kid to get Medicaid, in order for her to get Medicaid. Yeah. So even in TANF, if it's like child care services, and so the state of Texas, I don't know about any other states, but the state of Texas is like somebody needs to pay for it. So if you're going to get these services and you have a kid, he needs to be on child support in order for you to even get these services. So it's a lot, bro. I know we jumped in. Yeah,
that's a lot. I know and then a whole nother episode we could talk about is the mismanagement of funds. And then here's my thing is, bro, you know what I'm saying? Praise God that look at Tim. Bro. But listen, check this though, Tim. Check this. So both of my girls have custodial stock market accounts. That means I put money in there.
Right.
I buy stocks and it can grow.
Yeah.
And I can do anything with that money as long as it's used for the kid.
Okay.
So if there's a system for that's already set up, and you know the IRS gonna be checking. Josh, I see that you spent $10,000 on a car for your daughter. Can you show me proof of? You know what I mean? If we can do that there, why can't we do it over here?
Yeah.
Over here.
And this one over here is actually costing us more money for not. Bro, anyways, so going back to Tim, how did you guys get to that point? Because I'm like, bro, we going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and I'm like, this is gonna be called baby.
We just need
baby drama.
We need to bookmark that for the next episode. Child support.
But I did want to go back. I did want to go back to something because we were talking about you being a beautiful mess, and how you went through personal development, and you know what I'm saying, rebuilt yourself, and you know what I'm saying, you did the whole Potter thing. You know what I'm saying, you took a some clay, and you know what I'm saying, you broke it down, built it back up.
I had to
I don't
break
know what
that
it's actually
joint
called.
down, Josh. I had to break all the way down. Yo. I ain't cried so much, in the past. I ain't cried that much. I've cried like a baby, and I'm like, I'm not a crier. I'm emotional, but it's like I'm chill because I'm an introvert at heart, guys. I promise you I am. January 2nd is World Introvert Day, and I'm an advocate of it. I think it's dope. I'm like, and a lot of people are like, no, you're an extrovert. I'm like, no, I'm an introvert because when I get off here tonight, I don't want to talk to nobody for a week. and I still gotta go to Houston and interview people. So, it's mentally exhausting. I love people, but at the same time, it's like I just gotta get back, recharge on my own, and then I can just come back and get a world, my beautiful mess. Like, just
be a beautiful mess. Yeah. But with that, so you did the personal development. You know what I'm trying to say. Y'all listen to me. Follow me, stay with me. So you did the personal development. And now you are a better man, a wiser man, a smarter man, saying all those adjectives. And so my question is, one, how does you have one son or two sons? You have two sons, right?
Two, yeah.
So you have two sons that are yours, and your fiance, she has one son, right?
Well, I have one son, and then she has one son, so we have two together.
Okay, sorry. Okay, how has your past influenced how you were bringing them up, and are they aware of your past?
They are. First of all, talking to my fiance Sabrina. We talk about everything. It's like the easiest thing. Like, it's the safest place in the world for me to be right there with that woman, man. Like,
that's good.
God sent me an angel at the right time, at the right place. We went to high school together, and I checked her out in high school, but I was a punk. I was a chump, man. I ain't even. I looked at her. I drooled at her, man. I promise you, I drooled at her. I even tell her every day. I be like, baby, I remember what you had on that day when you came into Mr. Webb's class.
Yeah,
bro. We was meant to be together. It just took us 20 years to get
here. Right.
But we went through our own experiences, and and for me, I just had to grow, but I had to understand that if I got into a situation with anybody, but especially with her, that I was just going to be honest about everything from the jump. I'm not like, this is who I am. I'm a beautiful mess. I'm still working on myself daily. Life ain't all peaches and cream. But it's nice over here. Don't get it twisted. It's very nice over here, but it ain't. Yeah. But I still got some areas, and I got some soft spots. I got some blind spots that I need that are coming to light. So
come on, be my ride or die. Come on and ride with me. If you gonna ride with me, ride with me. Come on.
Let me tell you how much of a rider this lady is, yo. She lived in Atlanta, and I was like, I want you here. I want you in Dallas with me.
She got to be standing there because the way
she not. I don't even know where she at in the house.
The way he looking over there.
Yeah, he looking over there like.
I promise you. I'm telling you, I don't see her.
Listen, and y'all, if y'all ain't watching on YouTube, if y'all listen to us on podcast land, y'all don't understand. This man, like, he is so in love that he done forgot the damn question I asked him.
Yes, I did. What's the question again?
Hey, but you know what? I appreciate you saying what you said because it goes back to a lot of what we just talked about with the wives. Like, when I met my wife, I was like 100. Like, yo, this is what I'm going through. I love you. But if you ain't, you can leave if you wanna.
Hey, you gotta take me as I am, fam.
It's a beautiful thing to see that, like the facial expressions, like you could tell, like this man is like so in love. And here's the thing: if you go back to the last episode with the wives and things like that, my closing words was love is a choice, and you can see in Tim's eyes that it's not just the in love phase, like a oh man, I'm so head over heels. Like he's like, yo, like I'm intentionally choosing to love this woman, and that now he has this safe space where now it's actually affecting his kids. So that the question was, how were your past experiences relating to how you're teaching your boys? But now, since he's in that safe space, he's okay with talking to his wife, and now he's okay with being able to talk to his boys and help them become men and avoid the pitfalls that he hit.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm gonna see y'all next week.
He got into his safe space, and he got into his safe space and just went off into Never Land.
Yo, I'm sorry, bro. She take me there, and I don't understand it. So my bad, yo. I'm cool, man. So because, all right, back to the question. Let's get back to the question. Back to the question.
No, but that's good. You know what? That's good because a lot of times, men, we talk about relationships, and oftentimes when we talk about relationships, especially when you're talking to an older man, they like, young man, you sure you want to get married? You sure you want to, it takes a lot of work, and we hear that all the time, but we never really get to hear, you know what? I love my wife. Like, I'm so excited to be with, I got a safe space. I got God sent me the person that I needed instead of, it takes a lot of work. Like, if you go love her, you make sure you pick the right one. And sometimes it ain't the right one. You got to just do a little bit of work, but enjoy the work.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Just like you said earlier, Josh, you said intentionally choosing to love that person. It's a choice every day. I gotta choose to love her every day. So I gotta choose to know her love language. I gotta choose to study her. I gotta choose what kind of roses she like every other week. I gotta understand
every other week.
Like, I gotta understand she got 27 personalities, and I gotta understand that. Look, I'm gonna let her go through every single one of them characters today. I'm gonna just sit here, and if you don't say I did nothing wrong, cool. You can just go through the gauntlet. We can just kick it. It's cool. But you real with me at the same time. I gotta intentionally choose to love you every day, and it's one of the easiest decisions I can make because I really feel like, yo, she my rib. She connected to me. This is who I'm supposed to be with. So I'm gonna rock with you. It's easy.
I would say be petty, but you've been married before, so you understand what it's like to be married. But I'm just like, look, some days you just be like,
oh, absolutely. Yo, let me tell you though, real talk, and she will say the same thing. Yo, it's moments, yo, I would love to body slam her if we was like on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's moments where it's like, oh my gosh, and she. Yo, it's like, yo, get out of here, like, yo. Okay, whatever. And it's moments where she wanna knock me between the sink and you know what I'm saying? She wanna do it. And I understand it, but at the end of the day, she also intentionally chooses to love me at the same time. When she, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta be appreciative of that. That somebody rocking with me the same way I rock with them. It's the first time I ever felt it, but it's something that I always longed for.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. So back to the question.
Finally, I was trying to get back to it. Like, 5
no, I know you were. But that's all. But listen, so this is the beautiful thing. This is our show. We can do whatever we want. It ain't for everybody.
That's right.
And so, but seriously though, man, like, how has, how open are you? Well, first of all, how old are your boys?
Corey is 10, and Caden is 7.
Okay. So they ain't like ready for all of it, or are they? I don't. And you know what, I got it. My daughter, my oldest, is 3 years old, and these kids know way too much too quickly.
I think, you know what, number one, kids are resilient, and I think it's all about parenting, man. And I think for us, we take an open approach. We gonna protect you. That's our job, and that's our duty as parents. But at the same time, we also going to show y'all some of the realness too. Yeah, we gonna make sure that y'all understand, like, it ain't all roses and sunshines every day. Even when me and her is good, I would say 90% of the time we good. It's cool. That's a good percentage. But at the end of the day, it's moments where she moody or I'm moody, or she got something going on or whatever.
Yeah,
and I got to be able to learn, like, yo, let me fall back, or I need to just come behind you and just hold you for a minute. And I would say it's, oh shoot, give me back to the question.
The question was about how does your past impact how you raise your boys?
For kids,
because the goal of a parent is not to tell your kids where to go, but to guide them.
Absolutely. My past impacted me with my boys. Really, man. It's kind of tough because I grew up in a two-ish parent household. Like my parents, they were together on and off for 20 years, but my parents separated like every few years, man. It was crazy. And my mom was kicking my dad out and all this other stuff. And my dad was like the aggressor, and he was abusive towards me at times. And to the points where like I have an older brother, and shout out to my boy Al McGee. That's my older brother, and we dope. And he's a good guy, man. But at the end of the day, my dad, he really looked at my brother. He was athletic. He was getting in Upward Bound programs and all that. He was focusing more on my older brother, who he didn't even birth. He didn't even like naturally father him. But then with me, he didn't even want to have a connection with me as a man and as a kid. And where I was struggling emotionally, trying to connect with people, where I was shy or where I was timid or where I was too emotional and didn't know I didn't understand taking Adderall or taking all these medications and then turning me into a zombie. I had to go through a lot of dumb shit that I didn't understand. And so, but I still wasn't even getting that kind of help. So what it did with the abusiveness and all that other stuff, where a lot of men will take that and they'll start to be aggressive. For me, I shut down. I'm the total opposite. So what it did was, even when I had my son, had my kids, had my boys, it's like about hug. Like I'm an affectionate dude more than anything. I was like, what I'm saying? So it's like I'm like, why the hell am I like this? I'm like a hard shell, but like this, just
come give daddy a hug,
right?
It's like weird. I'm like, it's like weird to me in a way.
Yeah,
but
I love it. I wonder, is it something like, I know how I grew up, and so now I want to. The things that I was missing or the things that I desired, I want to make sure my kids have those same things. And that's some of the things that I think about too, especially when I talk to teen fathers, because they're like, my daddy was never around. But what are those things that you didn't experience that you wanted to experience? What are those things and that's what I kind of hear. It's like, you've seen some things in your life as you were growing up and you were like, man, I don't want my kids to go through that. So whatever I could do, whatever I can do.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah. I think connectivity more than anything, man. I didn't connect with my father, when he was around, things like that. He was very antisocial, so where my mom was very, an extrovert, and she'd be out, always hosting the parties and the cookouts and the get-togethers, and she, that's the type of family that she was raised in. So because she was like that, my dad, he came from a lot of turmoil in his family, so they wasn't even rocking with each other as brother and sister. They was beating each other up, fighting, all this other stuff. My mom shielded me from that, and that's one of the good things that I will say my mom did, was she shielded me from a lot of the chaos on that side. So so as much as I got love for my cousins and all aunts and uncles and stuff, I just don't know them like that. So for me as a man, I hold my boys tighter, man. I try to be the connectivity for me is so important with them. I need to connect with them. So even with my son, my son Caden is on the autism spectrum. And so, that was tough, because for the first few years I was denying it. I was like, well, he probably has some speech delays, that's cool. I've had ADHD issues and things. So I can understand passing down, Asperger's or something like that. But I would refuse to think he had autism. I struggle with it, but then I had to come to grips with it, and then just say, okay, early intervention is going to be important. Let's stop focusing on what it is, and let's focus on the solution. So his mom and I came together. We continue to come together and try to help make him feel comfortable to know that, look, you connecting all the dots. You just connecting it differently from anyone else.
Yeah. I love the fact you say connection. I love the fact you say connection, because I even think about Kendall, 13, right? And even though she loves us and she's a part, she connects differently now. So I've had to change the way that I would want to connect with her to now, how do I connect with her where she is. And so that's causing me to be intentional about the dog walk. So don't just go walk your dog. Let's go walk the dog together so I can get, you gonna be mad at me. I think y'all seen the post that I posted. I was like, Kendall go be mad at me. But when we got on the walk, the first part of the walk, she was mad. But then after that, we started having a really good conversation and connection. And I think that's really important. Even Josh, when you're saying our kids are learning so much at an early age.
Is that Christmas season?
Yep.
I told you.
What up?
There you go. Look at him.
This my boy Caden. This is my strong soldier. He's my biggest inspiration out here. He's
what
7.
Are you listening to?
My guy, my twin out here. So
look just like you.
See, like he put a deep voice on, like his dad. And then when he get with his mom, you hear his regular voice. I'm like, hey, you do what you do, man. So that's it, man.
That's what's up, Kaden. Good to see you, man. But I think that's important. I think connectivity is very important. Okay. And even though that they're learning a lot at that age, or a lot of it is getting thrown at them, if you're connected with your kids, you'll know exactly what to share with them at that moment. So even though that they may be bombarded with, I guess, whatever is out there, whether it's a certain lifestyle, whether it's sexual information and things like that, if you're connected with your kid, you should be able to say, okay, this is my kid. I know they're hearing it, but what are they really thinking and where they're at in order for me to navigate them through that process? And I think to answer Josh's question about like, how would you tell your kids? I think the connection with your kids at the right time in the right place, because I'm sure they probably already, hey, what happened? Mom over here, this and this and this. But even just knowing where they are, some things you can share and some things don't really need to be shared until they get to that level.
And let me add on something real quick. I think like one thing that I could say that I was say that was lacking for me that I want to give my boys especially is a safe place. I want y'all to have a safe place. I think too many times, based on our generation, how we was raised and all those other things, we're not supposed to talk. We're not supposed to have conversations with parents. It's just you do as I say, or you get your ass beat. I'm just, for lack of better words, go get that switch, go get that belt. And I'm gonna be real with you. My pops at 10 years old. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. This is gonna be this is real. I remember in 5th grade. My man, I did something. I don't know what it was I did, but all I know is that, look, that was the day of reckoning for your boy. My pops went outside in the backyard, right? He took some saw. He went to the fence post, that thick wood. He got the thick wood. Start cutting that saw off. I'm thinking, I look out my window because my door is facing the side. I'm like, what is he doing? He goes, puts duct tape around that joint, right? And he names it like the enforcer or something. Man, when I tell you he went to bat on me like Jackie Robinson, like 10 times at 10 years old, and I got to assume the position. And you don't tell me that's abuse when the whole neighborhood to hear you screaming the way you screaming? I don't know what it is. And then you got the mom downstairs in the office just letting it happen. So don't tell me that that's a safe place. So I want to give my kids a safe place, even when I got to discipline you. But I'm going to talk to you also. I'm going to have a conversation with you because you're still human. You're still human. So let's have a human conversation.
Yeah. Your daddy didn't kill some people. That's all.
Let me ask you, I want to ask a question because
he did fight, he was
right. So how has that experience changed your approach to discipline in your house and the way that you discipline now?
Man, it eats me alive to even put my hands on my kids. It eats me alive. I mean, just because for me, I'm such a I'm such a hot and cold person. So 90% of the time I'm cold, I'm chill, and I'm out there. But if you get me to that point, when I go up there, I'm up there, but I come right back down. So it looks crazy on the outside. Because you're like,
I'm gonna kill you. No, wait.
I'm sorry, baby. Daddy was just kidding. I'm sorry. No. But listen, though, man. I think the what I've realized, you know what I'm saying? You guys got older kids. You know what I mean? Mine are 1.5 and 3. But okay. From my experience, this is the time when they drive you the craziest, because it's like I know that's not the answer, but I'm in this moment. So right now, this is my reality. But
he got Kindle too at 13. So woof.
Yeah. But what I'm realizing is that, one, the physical side is not necessarily for them. Like that's more about us. But two, there are so many different options than actually physically, putting your hands on your kid. And we're so caught up in our own emotions that we can't think of those. I mean, like we're supposed to be the adults. How we expect them to process and manage their emotions when we can't process and manage our own emotions? Exactly. And so it's just like what I'm learning is that there are things that matter more to my kids than getting physically hit. I mean, I don't hit my kids, so you know what I'm saying? I don't. Yeah. I don't. But I mean, that's just.
I think, man, I could probably tell you on maybe one hand the amount of times I've had to beat my son.
Well, you said beat. That's illegal, but that's a different story.
Spanking. Is that more appropriate?
No, it don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? There's just some people that might listen to the podcast that might
say, I've had to whoop his ass. I'm going to say it, okay? I'm going to just say it. Because your daddy would have said it to you. He ain't going to just say, son, thou art, get that, take them pants down. Take thou belt. Your postural. He's not saying none of that. He's saying, I'm going to whoop that. Okay?
Bro, yeah. I will never forget. I was 14 years old. I was doing something in the kitchen, doing the dishes. And I had messed with my sister. And my dad was upset at me that I messed with her. And I said something under my breath. And my dad, mind you, I'm 6'3". Like in high school, I was 6'2", 200 pounds. My dad is all of 5'7", 125. Like, soaking wet. Like just talk small. And I remember he just looked at me like, what you say? He's like, you want to go outside? He's like, you want? And I was like, I'm gonna go to my room. You know what I mean? But hey, I just realized what time it is, man. And I told y'all I got to catch a flight tomorrow, and I'm really not packed. But
man, I was just warming up.
It took you an hour to warm up. But that's what's good, but man, look, when you're having good conversations, it don't seem like we've really been on this. We
not even an hour. Not even an hour.
Yeah. What do you mean it ain't been? We about 6 minutes away from an hour.
But I mean, we hadn't recorded.
I know when we started, Kev. I know where we started. Okay.
Yep. Okay. So guys, thank y'all so much for joining us here on Dads on Purpose podcast.
Look, I'm about to kick Kev out. Hey, but Tim, what is something you would leave with the people that you know what I'm saying? Because you haven't I don't know the right word. I mean, I guess you've immersed yourself in the blended family. You know what I'm saying? The only thing difference is the legality of it, right? So what is some advice that you would give that's in that season or that's looking at that season to help them out? You can choose either one.
I think we as men, it starts with us. I think women are more emotional driven. So men, if your emotions are very high towards the woman for whatever reason, you ain't gotta do all of that. You know, I think if you're gonna make whatever decisions, you do what you got to do for your own life and let that other person live their life. But you need to put your one focus on what's important for the kids. You keep it on the kids. There's no strife. There's no arguments. There's nothing to talk about. You know, my ex-wife and I don't talk about anything other than the kids. We go nowhere else, and we don't deviate into anything else. That's just that's just the dynamic we have. There's a mutual respect when it comes to the kids, and that's it. You know, she did a questionable thing. I will say she did a questionable thing, but
you gonna leave that right there and not elaborate?
He was like,
you know what?
Questionable thing, but that's it. Well, holler at y'all next week.
I told myself I was gonna keep this in 2021, but
you brought it up in 2022.
Look,
Petty Patty.
One thing about my beautiful mess and my beautiful messy life, I guess you could say, is that while I have evolved as a man over the past 2 years, I've had to establish my own family. I am in exile from my family. And it's just for reasons that God put me here in exile, because I knew that I was elevating to something that they would never understand. They would never understand it. They're in their own turmoil. They're in their own strife. Whatever it is that they into, I pray for them about it, no doubt about it. And I got nothing but love for them. But I've had to say, hey, if it means not ever speaking to your own mother again for life, based on the fact that you may come to the state of Texas and chummy it up with your ex-wife and go out to dinner with your ex-wife when y'all don't even like each other.
Yeah.
There was never a link. When my ex-wife knows that I'm cool with my mom, she cuts my mom off, and then my mom's feelings are hurt, and then she want to talk to me about it, then I'm back in the middle of it. And it always puts me in an uncomfortable space. When I said from the jump, Mom, look, I'm your son. You need to do all things with me, and you need to leave her alone and let her be in her own world. I said that because y'all never had a relationship to begin with, even when we were married. So now y'all got this outside relationship now just because of what, because I'm not speaking to my mother and I will never speak to her again. Never. So that's what makes it a beautiful mess, because some people be like, oh, you only get one mom, you only get one dad or whatever. Yeah. And I've served my duty as a son to understand that I have done the best as I could as a son, even to admit faults, mistakes, and all those things, and take responsibility to make a better contribution to the world. But at the end of the day, you want to sit in toxicity for the rest of your life. Look, I value my peace, and I have created my own family revolved around loyalty, revolved around love, honesty, and transparency. And if there's things we got to work on, we're going to work on it. That's it.
Y'all all need to go to family counseling.
I said that, and I honestly told my mom, I said, look, the only way we're going to continue a relationship is if we go to family counseling. If not, we got nothing to talk about. You can call the kids, come see the kids, whatever it is through me. I won't bother you. You go do your thing, and we'll have a limited relationship. But it never said I ain't got love for you. It just meant that, look, I can only take toxicity for so long. We got to go to family counseling. We got to talk through deep-rooted issues that need to come to the forefront to heal a family, not necessarily to tear down anybody. It's not about tearing anybody down. It's about building up a better inner self.
I got some thoughts. I'm gonna leave them in my head.
I gave you something big to chew on.
No. It's not. It's nothing to chew on.
No,
they weren't thoughts. They were comments. But we're just gonna leave that there. Kev, what you laughing at, man?
Nothing.
This is why I don't have friends.
It's best not to have a lot of friends.
I don't have none.
Keep the circle small.
I got
Kev.
I'm
in that small circle.
But Kev,
no, man. I think. I think what to end off on, man. I think number one of the things that keep coming through is, first of all, we have to work on ourselves. Not even just as men, just as people in general. Like, everybody needs to be working on themselves. It's 2020. It's new 2022. I know everybody is talking about new year, new me, but are you really working on yourself, right? Are you really taking the time to go into the dark places that you are afraid to go to, and to really deal with some issues that you need to deal with? And one of the things that I really love Tim shared today is that I believe Tim has truly been doing the work. Even not only that, and I gotta ask Tim, man, before you get off of here, are you gonna do a new men's group called The Beautiful Mess, so we can really get some work done, because right? Look at here, man, because I really love that. And honestly, Josh, that's where I met Tim, is through his love of developing people and doing men's groups. But I think that not only do men need to work on ourselves, but women, you need to work on yourselves as well, so that when we do have situations as if a blended family or even just your own family as a whole, like even as my wife, we're connected. But if I'm not working on myself and she's not working on herself, we can't have a strong family and a strong family foundation. So I think the theme is be honest with yourself and really, 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 really do work on yourself. Like pick something this year. Don't let this month go away that you're not saying, you know what? I am going to work on this. Hey, I've committed for 2022 to be a better communicator. You can ask Josh. I'm at the church recording announcements, bombing, having to sit there, man. We was up there for 4 hours, me trying to record one announcement, y'all. But that's to be a better communicator, because I know that I need to work on those things in order for me to elevate myself and for me to get to another level. We'll talk about that later, Josh. Josh, like, how did you spend 4 hours? Yeah, I got issues. But
I ain't said a word.
But I really do.
But you want to say something.
Yeah, he want to say something. But anybody on here, man, make sure that number one, you take care of yourself. And number two, just be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with those who are in relationship with you, and be as honest as you can with your kids. Your kids see what's going on. The more you lie to them, the more you just hurting them and giving them more toxic trauma that they don't even deserve. Like, just be honest with them at their level. So if mom and dad aren't doing well, you ain't gotta go into detail. Just say mom and dad aren't doing well. And as they matriculate and grow, you can uncover more and more with them. But you got to be honest with yourself and be honest with other people. So work on yourself and be honest. I think that's a good theme to start off this 2022.
I think people need to be honest with themselves and realize that they ain't like the podcast. They ain't shared the podcast. They ain't subscribed to the podcast. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to do all those things. And with that, man, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you guys.
We love
appreciate
you guys.
it.
Take care. God bless. See you next week.